This is TJ Jones, the host of the State of the Saints podcast, and I want to let you know that the State of the Saints podcast is brought to you by Manscaped. Over 2 million men worldwide have joined the movement for all their below-the-waist needs. Engineers for the last 18 months have perfected the greatest hair trimmer ever created, the Lawnmower 3.0. The third-generation trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology pioneered by Manscaped. You can choose the Lawnmower 3.0 as well as other items by going to manscaped.com, and you can also save 20% by using the promo code STATEOFSAINTS. That's manscaped.com. Use the promo code STATEOFSAINTS and save 20% on the Lawnmower 3.0 as well as other Manscaped items. That's manscaped.com.
Hey, what's going on, Who That Nation? It is yours truly, TJ Jones, the host of the State of the Saints podcast. And thank you so much for checking out the State of the Saints podcast, where we talk New Orleans Saints. And on this edition, we're going to be talking about tight end Jared Cook. The New Orleans Saints have released Jared Cook, as well as tight end Josh Hill. And I'm also going to be talking a little bit later in the show about how I found out that Alvin Kamara blocked me on social media. But I want to say thank you all so much for checking out the State of the Saints podcast, and really do appreciate your time. And this is the most interactive Saints podcast that you're ever going to find anywhere. I want to say thank you all for spending your Thursday morning with yours truly, and I'm ready to rock and roll. I'm ready to talk. I'm ready to get down and dirty, talk about all the topics that you all want to talk about. Let's go ahead and start with Jared Cook. Now, I put out a video yesterday, probably like a 4-minute video, and thank you all so much, man. That's like the fastest viewed video I ever had. I think that was the quickest I ever got to 1,000 views. I think it was like in 4 hours. So thank y'all so much for all those that clicked on it and checked it out. Y'all make me want to start doing more 4-minute videos. But anyway, the Saints, they released Jared Cook, and I would say that a lot of Saints fans are sad about this, but they're not. All right, this is a guy who a lot of members of the Who That Nation were happy, were dancing in the street, celebrating that Jared Cook was released by the New Orleans Saints. Some people feel like Jared Cook really just was a waste of money and a waste of space. Some people say that he was consistently inconsistent. And then there's some people like myself who really enjoyed Jared Cook being a New Orleans Saint. Look, every day is not going to be sunshine and rainbows, and you're not going to always put your best effort on the field every single week. There are going to be some ups and there are going to be some downs. But Jared Cook, to me, and I mentioned this on the last video I put out, I just felt like Jared Cook was not the same. He was not the same since he got concussed in that San Francisco 49ers game. And I think he had 2 concussions this season. And when guys start to miss games due to concussions and getting knocked out, man, that stuff scares you, man. I don't know if anybody ever got knocked out before, but I mean, for somebody to wake you up and tell you about what happened to you and you don't have no recollection of it, and that can mess with you psychologically, man. So I feel like he was never the same player he was once that accident occurred. I think you have to also add in the fact that he is getting older. And for all my folks out there that's getting up there in age, that's not in their right 20s or more up there in the 35, 40-year-old range, you can attest to this, that you can't do some of the things that you did in your 20s. And your timing is a little bit off, and some of the things that you may have caught, you may not catch. Some of the instincts that you might have, like for example, you might play basketball with somebody younger than you. You'd be like, man, back in the day, I would have blocked that shot. But your timing is a little bit off. So if you combine the fact with the concussions as well as the age, happens to everybody. But I enjoy Jared Cook as a New Orleans Saint. I don't care what anybody says. This guy was the most productive tight end we had since Jimmy Graham. Yes, that's right. I said it. He was the most productive tight end we had since Jimmy Graham. And I know we had Benjamin Watson, but Benjamin Watson was not as productive. He was not as productive as Jared Cook was in the Saints uniform in the 2 years he was here. So all the people that was crying all them years, man, we need a tight end, we need a tight end. The Saints whiffed on a lot of the tight ends. Kobe Fleener, Michael Owenawinui, all these other guys that they tried to replicate what Jimmy Graham can do, and it was to no avail. There's a reason why people like Taysom Hill was playing at the tight end position. So I think that the Saints decided to move on, and I know it has a lot to do with the fact of Adam Troutman. If Adam Troutman production was not as good as it was like later in the season, I think the Saints might have, tried to keep at least Josh Hill or tried to renegotiate with Jared Cook. That's the way I feel. I think that Adam Troutman made it an easy solution. The fact that you got older tight ends and you got yourself a young stud that's on the cusp of possibly being something special. And you probably add somebody like maybe like a Kyle Rudolph. He was released by the Minnesota Vikings. You add him to the dynamic, or maybe even somebody like a seasoned veteran like Mercedes Lewis want to continue to play. And you get yourself another young tight end. So you'll have yourself a seasoned veteran along with some young tight ends. But whatever the Saints decide to do, I think it made the decision easy because of Adam Troutman and the development of him. So as far as Josh Hill is concerned, I don't want to, forget about him. Josh Hill was a classic tight end. He's a classic tight end when modern day NFL wants you to be more than a classic tight end. If he was playing in 94, 95, Josh Hill probably would have been one of the best tight ends in football because they only ask tight ends to catch the ball occasionally. Most times they want them to block. I just feel like, he is a classic tight end. And I think that a lot of people had these expectations for Josh Hill, especially when the Saints traded Jimmy Graham to Seattle for Max Unger and another first round pick. They had these expectations for Josh Hill. I can remember there was an article that came out, about Josh Hill being up next and being among those upper echelon of tight ends, but just never panned out. But Josh Hill was a good red zone threat. Anytime you needed points in the red zone, you can count on Josh Hill. Rather it's him blocking for Alvin Kamara or Latavius Murray or Mark Ingram, what have you. Whoever the running back was, he can block and open up space for them to get touchdowns. Or if you need somebody to catch a touchdown pass, I mean, he was the one that caught the touchdown pass that put Drew Brees for the moment, made him the all-time leader in touchdowns. I mean, Josh Hill has done some great things with the New Orleans Saints, and he was a valuable commodity to the team. Because you have to remember that press conference in the NFC Championship game, one I often bring up. Sean Payton said they had to eliminate about 42 or 43 plays when Josh Hill went out with a concussion. Some people are saying that Josh Hill was a little injury prone. He dealt with concussions himself. So, you got to add that in also. So I just think that the Saints want to go in a different direction. They want a little bit more excitement. They probably want a little bit more youth at the tight end position. And Adam Troutman's success has helped the New Orleans Saints make this decision. But both of those guys are going to land on their feet. They're going to be playing on somebody's team. Both guys are going to be contributing to some other team's success going into the 2021 season, and I'm looking forward to it. So once a Saint, always a Saint. Good luck to those guys, and thank you for the memories. I have no issue with either one of those guys. That's just my opinion. But thank you all so much for being a part of the State of the Saints podcast. And I kind of changed some things up a tad bit, Who That Nation. So I'm looking at the screen right now. I actually got my computer connected I ain't trying to brag or nothing like that, but to my 75-inch television. So if I'm looking up, I'm actually looking at y'all comments. All right. So It might look a little weird or whatever like that if I'm looking up, but I'm actually looking at you all's comments. So I want to say thank you all so much for being a part of the show. And now it's time for the most important people that make the show what it is, the Who Dat Nation. Time to hear what you all have to say. We're going to go ahead and start with, let's start with Sam Jones. I think this is my brother right here. He says I'm here. So if that is my brother, Sam Jones, what's going on, man? Good morning to you. I love you, man. Donald says, yes. Don't know what yes actually means. Tyra says, I enjoy JC, but last year was awful, in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not trying to make any excuses for Jared Cook. All right? I'm not trying to make no excuses for him. Anybody that's talking about he was consistently inconsistent last season, him pouting on the sidelines, whining, boo-hooing, and all that kind of stuff, I'm with you, okay? I think that Kansas City Chiefs game was embarrassing. You know, like you're not used to seeing that on the sidelines, on the same sideline. And if you have, it hasn't been in a long time. I mean, you have to probably have to go back to maybe a Brandon Browner or something like that, going at it with Dennis Allen. But I mean, he jerked away from Drew Brees and he was soaking on the sidelines. But I don't know, man. I just think that Jared Cook had a lot more going on than we even realized. And I think it had a lot to do with those concussions, man. I think that we cannot just turn our heads about some of these, these players with concussions. And I think it affects them. I think we look at guys and, we look at what those reporters are saying. Oh, this guy's injured. He's out for about 4 to 5 weeks. But I don't think we really fully understand about what those guys probably be going through behind the scenes for those weeks, when they're trying to get healthy. In some cases, they don't never get healthy. They don't get healthy to the end of the season when they're playing absolutely no football. I just think when you're dealing with concussions, it affects you. I think anytime a guy is going across the middle and, I mean, a guy, you got your lights knocked out, for extending out, for a touchdown pass to somebody, comes in, hits you in the head. And then the next year, you end up going, across the middle and you get hit. And the next thing you know, you got another concussion and you start to get to you. And you start to see and hear about all these different stories about these guys dealing with concussions. That stuff affects you, man. And I know we don't pay attention to that as fans. The only thing we worry about is the 8 and the 7 on the guy's chest, or the 8 or the 9 on the guy's chest, or the number 9 and the last name. And we like, like Shannon Sharp would say. But these guys are human beings, and that can affect you psychologically, especially like when you have more than one of those things. Shouts out to my mom, says, who that? Everyone, good morning. So my mom chiming in. Let's see. Gigatis says, good sweet morning. Giving a shout out to my mama, man. Be careful, bro. Watch yourself now. Watch yourself. Tony says, man, y'all need to stop. Y'all are a small market team. They got lucky once. It ain't gonna happen. Tony, look. Tony, check this out, man. I don't know who you represent. I don't know what team you repping, but here's the thing, man. The Saints are one of the best teams in football. The Saints have had one of the best seasons over the past 4 years. They're a 4-time division champion. And you can talk about getting lucky, but look, when you beat 3 Hall of Famers in order for you to get to the Super Bowl, I wouldn't call that luck. And the Saints, like I said, they're one of the best teams in football. So for you to say that they're a small market team, that is true. And to say that they got lucky, I don't agree with that. Man, you can say it ain't going to happen again, but I'm pretty sure that it will with the right coaching staff. And as long as this coaching staff can, keep on, doing some of the things they've been doing for the regular season, and we can get over that hump, we definitely can be in that number. So, Tony, I don't know who you rocking with, but look, I think it's a little bit too early for you to be smoking, man. Like at least wait to the middle of the day, maybe the afternoon or something like that before you smoking something, like please, wake and bake is a thing, but I don't agree with it. Josh Hill is a great team player. Yeah, everybody like Josh Hill. Josh Hill is just a guy who is a lunch pail type of guy. He puts his hard hat on, comes in with his lunch pail, and he just go to work. And you need guys like that on your team. Guys are not going to be all up in the videos dancing, but they're still there to contribute. And Josh Hill did contribute. And when his name wasn't called for catching a pass, he definitely was blocking. And you go back to some of those blocks that that sprung for about 20 plus yards, Josh Hill had something to do with it. One game in particular was the game against the Washington football team, who were the Redskins at the time, when the Saints went into overtime with them, and Mark Ingram had those back-to-back big runs. Josh Hill was a key component to that. And I also in the NFC Championship game before he got put out of the game, man. I mean, he was doing some damage. So, we're gonna miss Josh Hill, man. Great team player. Somebody says, TJ, you sound low. How about now? Do I still sound low? Do I sound low now? Do I sound low? Testing 1, 2. Do I sound low now? I'm sorry, I got an echo in this room. Somebody tell me if I sound a little bit better. Somebody tell me if I sound a little bit better. But anyway, they love you all. Thank you for your support. TJ always ignoring me. He don't know me. I didn't ignore you. I think I read your question, didn't I? Josh Hill going to be 31. He'll find another team. We should fix Michael's contract. I think they will, man. I think they're going to do some adjustments. All right, thank y'all, man. Thank y'all. I had the mic, man. I set things up a little bit different. Like that's why, man. I actually, like I said, I connect my computer to my television, and I just changed the background a little bit. And the only thing that's kind of just sitting on the table now is this microphone. So I had to push back a little bit. So I do apologize for that. So thank y'all so much. That's why I say y'all important. If I was just talking and I didn't have y'all it wouldn't sound too good. But thank y'all. Let's see. You good with the mic? I appreciate that. TJ, which player is next to go? Also, at what price do you think is too high to re-sign Jameis? Graylin, a price that's too high to sign Jameis Winston when you start getting into like the $30 million range. I think around maybe 20 to I say 20 to 25 million should be suffice. Man, look, I'm not sold on no big trick play, the Traquan Smith. Right? Don't make no mistake about it. Jameis Winston gonna have to change the narrative of how people think about him. And I know we got excited because he threw a touchdown pass in the playoffs, and we're like, man, that's great. But man, this dude, like, for a full season, he threw 30 interceptions, and I'm not trying to hold that against him, but he has an uphill battle, man, for people to change the way that they see him. And I understand that his agent is going to try to do the best he can to try to get as much money as he can. But to me, if Jameis can chase the dollar, and that's fine. And I'm pretty sure there are teams that will be able to back up the Brinks truck to his house. But you have to ask yourself, do you want to be great, or do you just want to make money and be great? You know what I'm saying? Like if you want to just make money, right? That's fine, right? I mean, you'll make a little money, you'll be fine, but you're not gonna make it for a long period of time. But do you want to be great and make money? Like that's the question. And if you go to the right circumstance, you go to the right team, right? You have the New Orleans Saints. You have arguably the best play caller and offensive innovator in football in Sean Payton. You got a good coaching staff. You got a good running game. You got good receivers. You got a credible defense. You got everything around you in order for you to be successful. The only thing that you have to change is the things that you did to put you in this position. Or you can go to a team that's relatively new coaching staff, new players on the team, new philosophies, and you don't know exactly what your role is going to be. And you'll probably be the starter for a while, but then you'll end up in the same situation like Teddy Bridgewater, right? So he has to be smart about this. 20 to 25 to me would be fine. You can always go back and restructure your deal if you're playing at a higher level than anticipated. But by all means, by all means, I think he needs to do what's best for him. But if he's smart, he won't go to a team that's going to make him better than the last time people saw him on the field. Let me see. You had another part of the question. Which player is next to go? If I'm a guessing man, The next player I feel like would be next to go if we're talking about releasing. I'll probably have to say somebody like Janoris Jenkins. Or, if you can't get a trade deal done with Malcolm Brown, then most likely it's going to be Malcolm Brown. So one of those two guys. It's too early in the morning to be salty and player hating. Yeah, man, I don't even know where Tony came from. I don't even know who he a fan of. Garrett was good. It's just his mistakes came at the absolute worst possible time. I agree with that. I agree with that. Thank goodness that Jared Cook is gone. Dude wasn't that bad, man. Tampa Supreme says Cook should come to Tampa and win a ring. Man, bruh. Man, Tampa, like, bruh. Man, I want people to help me understand this. How is it that y'all go one season and y'all win a Super Bowl, ain't did nothing since then, and all of a sudden y'all just automatically just think y'all gonna be in Super Bowl contention every single year from now on? Like, first off, I got time today. First off, Tampa, like nobody took y'all serious. Like honestly, nobody took y'all serious. This is y'all are the equivalent of if you ever seen one of those cartoons, right? And somebody has like a burlap sack, right? And it got like a sack, right? And I just say a Tom and Jerry cartoon for modern day purposes. Tom and Jerry is in theaters. They used to have a scene on Tom and Jerry where Tom would be going into like this house that had a whole bunch of food. He'll go up in there with a sack, and Jerry would take, poke a hole inside of the sack. So every time, Tom would put food inside the sack, Jerry would be taking it out. Jerry be taking it out. The point what I'm trying to say is while everybody else was getting all the attention, y'all were like behind the scenes. Like nobody really cared or nobody even thought that y'all was actually a credible threat. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't until like the playoffs that people was like, okay, you know what I'm saying? Like, all right, we got to take them serious. And nobody even thought y'all was going to win. I don't think y'all were favored in any of those games. Like, y'all, like, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to me are the Philadelphia Eagles of 2017. That's exactly who they are. They had the right team. They had a loaded team full of, guys, deep depth. It was so deep that the backup quarterback won Super Bowl MVP. That's what Tampa is to me. But let's see what's going to happen when everybody see y'all. Let's see what happens when you are picked to be the favorite, when you get everybody's best shot. I guarantee you, y'all not ready for prime time. You're not. You're going to get everybody's best shot. And every single person is going to get, I don't care who y'all play, y'all going to get their best shot. And I don't think y'all ready. I don't. I do not think y'all ready. I think there's a lot of things that, kind of gets blurred a tad bit because, y'all actually won. But Tom Brady was turning the ball over at an alarming rate. Y'all still got to see what y'all going to do with Leonard Fournette. Chris Godwin, I'm pretty sure now that he has a ring, he wants to go to greener pasture and make more money. So I don't know why y'all just think all of a sudden y'all the Golden State Warriors because y'all got one Super Bowl. That means absolutely nothing. Like nobody took y'all serious. That's the only way y'all won a Super Bowl. Nobody took y'all serious. Kansas City didn't take y'all serious. The Saints didn't really take y'all serious. I mean, honestly, y'all almost lost the tail of Heineke in the Washington football team. If he probably would have had a year under his belt as being a starter, y'all probably would have lost. Like nobody took Tampa serious. So miss me with that whole, oh man, come to Tampa and win a ring. Man, y'all the Philadelphia Eagles. That's who y'all are. Y'all one and done. Nobody took y'all serious. Nobody. That's the only way they won that Super Bowl. If you want to prove me wrong, do it again. Do it again. If Tampa can win another Super Bowl, I will come on the State of Saint podcast and give them their credit. But as for me, I just feel like nobody took them serious. It's the same exact thing with the Philadelphia Eagles when they were walking around with those underdog masks on. Okay, everybody used to pick against them. Oh, they're not going to beat them. Oh, they're not going to beat them. That's what y'all are. Nobody took y'all serious. But y'all about to get everybody's best shot. Y'all about to get everybody's shot on Sunday. Y'all flew under the radar all season long. Tony is a Cowboy fan. I've seen him on a lot of Cowboy posts. He was talking smack about Katrina when we beat them in 2019, 12-10. Well, Tony, look, he definitely ain't got no room to talk. Tony, like, Cowboys, Cowboys, are you serious? The Dallas Cowboys, you really gonna come on the State of the Saints podcast, a show that focuses on the Saints, to talk about a team that ain't done nothing in 27 years, a team that has been embedded and swimming in mediocrity for 27 years. The last time the Dallas Cowboys actually won anything, Friday, the first Friday movie was out. You know what I'm saying? I was just about to walk across the stage to receive my certificate to go to the 6th grade. That's the last time the Dallas Cowboys won anything. The Dallas Cowboys are an embarrassment. The only reason why the Cowboys are relevant is because the media makes them relevant. Y'all walking, talking nostalgia at this point. Y'all like Hulk Hogan, right? You know what I'm saying? You like, when you see Hulk Hogan, you're like, oh man, oh snap, it's Hulk. You know what I'm saying? You put your hand behind your ear and you flex your muscle and all that kind of stuff there. But at the end of the day, you don't want to see no boy wrestle. You know, you don't want to see Hulk Hogan wrestle. You just like to see him where he is. Like, nobody is checking for no Dallas Cowboys. Y'all, like, get out of here, man. Like, seriously, I would be embarrassed if I'm sitting up here talking about you ain't about to win nothing and being a Dallas Cowboy fan. I mean, the epitome of a disgraceful football team, the epitome of mediocrity, the epitome of pathetic. And you're going to come on the State of the Saints podcast. And a team that has been to the playoff for 4 years, Dallas Cowboys, ain't sniffed the playoff last year. I mean, come on, man. Knock it off. Like, get out of here, man. Like, Tom Landry ain't coming through that door. You know, I mean, Roger Staubach, he ain't coming through that door. Hey, come on, man. What we doing here? Knock it off. Come on my show talking about no Dallas Cowboys. Man, yo, sit your style somewhere. Tampa will be the first team in NFL history to have a Super Bowl championship vacated. Look, man, I'm happy that they happy, but I'm like, slow your roll, man. Like, y'all ain't built like that, man. The rest was going to Tampa anyway. Look, I don't know if the rest was going to them or not. All I know is those games, nobody was really taking them dudes serious. That's the reason why. That's the reason why I feel like they kind of slid under the radar. Like they was like, I think maybe for the exception of the football team, they were underdogs in every other game. Like nobody really was checking for them like that. And that's the only reason like they did that. Like, TJ Maxx, question for you. Do you think when I get Wilson or Dak, because we're so don't know exactly what you mean. Don't know what you mean by that, Ramsey. Or I guess you're saying, are we going to get Russell Wilson or Dak Prescott? I'm not sure, Ramsey. You know, I don't think we're going to get neither one of those guys. I just think that Russell Wilson doesn't want to leave Seattle. His agent knows he doesn't want to leave Seattle, but he wants some things to change. He wants to create some change. He wants some things to be different. Pete Carroll is a defensive-minded coach, and he mostly focused on defense. But at the same time, you need to start paying attention to the fact that you have a quarterback that can get you to the promised land, and you got to make some things happen offensively. You got to put an offensive line behind this guy. You got to put a running game, behind this guy. You got to make sure that, that he has the pieces in place to get you there. And, go back to what made you successful. All those guys that they had on that Legion of Boom team, they drafted them. Maybe for the exception of Brandon Browner, but you had a whole bunch of guys on this team that you developed in your system. So why are you not going back to the drawing board with that? Put an offensive line around this guy, get this guy a running back that he can work with, and you can win some games. But I seriously don't think that he wants to leave Seattle. I just think that his agent is just kind of, rattling the cage, so to speak, just trying to stir up a little something to make Seattle move. I think that's the reason. I mean, it was a calculated move. I mean, him going on, I want to say, he went on somebody's show. I don't think it was Rich Eisen. I can't think of the show that he actually went on. Dan Patrick. He went on Dan Patrick show. And I just think that he purposely did that. It was strategic, right? It was cerebral on his part. He wants some things to change. How do you get things to change? You put it out there that you're unhappy. You're unhappy. 31 other teams are looking around like, man, what can we do? Or maybe some teams that definitely need a quarterback. Like, man, what's going on with Russell? Need to kick the tires, see what's going on, see if we can actually make something happen. As far as Dak Prescott, Jerry Jones is a guy that cares about what the media thinks about him, what the fan base thinks about him. The last image that you have is a bad contract negotiation. You putting a franchise tag on a quarterback. I'm talking Dak Prescott, and he ends up messing up his ankle, breaking his ankle in one of those horrific injuries. And how much of a a-hole would you be if you were to just throw this guy out on the street after he basically went down fighting, trying to win you a football game? So I think that Jerry Jones has that in the back of his mind. I think they're going to renegotiate a deal. I think they're probably going to put another franchise tag on him, and they're probably going to just try to, negotiate a new deal. But I tell you what, Dak Prescott sitting on the sidelines, I mean, his stock went up. I mean, because the Cowboys, I mean, they imploded when he didn't play. Stroll down a little bit more. I'm gonna stroll down a little bit more, man. So I apologize because the conversation changed. Cardell says, I can't wait till next season so Mike Evans can get locked down in both games. Yeah, man, Mike Evans, man, he definitely be getting locked up by Marshawn Lattimore. That's the only thing. That's what we wish. We just wish Lattimore would play like he does against Mike Evans against everybody. Saints first, don't give Bucks credit for the Saints. I do give the Bucks credit. I give the Bucks credit. Bucks goal game. I give them credit for winning the Super Bowl. But I just need people to know they lane. Like in the words of Cat Williams, you ever seen that stand-up comedy where he say, don't you know I can see you? Like, don't you know, like, we knew that you were trash like for years, and all of a sudden, like, you had 1 year of prosperity. Like, that don't change nothing. Like, it doesn't. It does not change a thing to me. Like, maybe to you, but it don't change nothing to me. Like, people like coming up there, ring check. Dude, y'all sucked for the last 15 years. Like, that don't mean like that's like you getting smoked in every single race. Then all of a sudden, like, you finally win a race and like, I'm the best. Sit your ass down. Like, seriously, like, what are you doing? Like, we understand that you're happy and you're satisfied and you got 2 Super Bowls, and that's cool. But look, I don't buy into that whole, Super Bowls make you superior to other people in your conference. No, they don't. Like, what I'm saying? Super Bowls do not determine superiority. If that's the case, Joe Flacco is a better quarterback than Dan Marino. Is he a better quarterback? Joe Flacco is a better quarterback than Jim Kelly. Like, that's what you're saying to me. You telling me that Tampa is better than the New Orleans Saints just because they got 1 more Super Bowl than the Saints? I have to say, what have you been smoking? Straight up. What have you been smoking? Like this serious. If the Saints played Tampa in a 7-game series and and Tampa just beat the Saints outright, and I'm like, okay. But we talking about a team that beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers twice. They played them 1 more time in the playoffs and lost. The Saints still beat them 2 times. You know what I'm saying? So they're 1. Now you can make an argument and say, oh, we beat them when it count. But all the games count. That game just counted more than the other 2. To me, if you want to be honest, but that don't mean nothing. Like, it's still a snake-bitten franchise. Like, I just hate this narrative that people put out there about rings. I mean, you have to be careful what you're saying here. If we talking rings, that means that Robert Horry is better than Michael Jordan. That means he's, better than Kobe. He better than Shaq. If we talking about just rings and championships, we got to put context on this. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have not really been good. They had 1 year where they got an all-time great quarterback to come to the organization, and he was surrounded by a bunch of all-pros and a bunch of, like, young studs, and they made a championship run. That just, like, honestly, if you want to prove that you are the truth, If you want to prove that you are the man, if you want to prove that you're that team, all I'm saying is do it again when everybody has their eyes on you. You can talk about Kansas City all you want, getting shellacked, but the Kansas City Chiefs went back to the Super Bowl. They proved that they actually belong. If Tampa wants to prove that they are that team, they didn't even win a division. You know, like that. Let's just make that clear. They didn't even win a division. So you won a Super Bowl, but you still aren't the best in your division. That's all I'm saying, man. We got to put context on this thing. You can say I'm hating all you want to. You can say, oh, man, you hate, man. You hate, man. Look, I ain't hating on nobody. All I'm saying is put context on this thing. Put context on it. You can have your Super Bowl hooray and clapping, you know, all that kind of stuff there. You know, do I wish that I was in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers position? Absolutely. That's what we want as fans. We want our team to win the Super Bowl. But for me to sit up here and just say, oh, they just superior to every other team in NFC South, when they've been basement dwellers for the last 15 years, minus 1 year with the greatest quarterback of all time, miss me with that. Miss me with that. I give the referees all the credit for Tampa winning the Super Bowl. Look, man, look, that defense was lights out. I can't even do that. Bucks sitting on a high pedestal right now, but finna get knocked right off this upcoming season. TJ, that's how the NFL goes. See, NFL care more about rings and Super Bowl than actual talent. I mean, see, that's the thing right there, you know. But it just, to me, is not true. It's not true. Like, they won a Super Bowl and they should be happy as fans and as a team, but they not the best. Like, come on, man. The ring says that they're the best team in football. Well deserved. But for me to just forget about all of the bad moments and, you know what I'm saying, all of the terrible years that they had leading up to that Super Bowl, like, I can't miss that. I can't miss that, man. I can't. King says breaking rules, COVID has signed a 2-year deal with every NFL team. Well, man, hopefully, man, this stuff can be over with soon. You know, hopefully. A. Marie says, I can't believe you. I don't know what she exactly can't believe. TJ, talk about our team move on from the Bucks and last year. Royce, look, I focus on the questions that come across the screen. When people talking about their team or talking about the Bucks, I'm gonna acknowledge it. So that's how we do that. We still 61 million over the cap. This gonna be a tough free agent year. Well, they already made some moves, so I got confidence in them. TJ, we need to draft a cornerback like J.C. Horn or a linebacker like Xavier Collins. This defense needs to be game-breaking, multiple defense, touchdowns, and turnovers. I want us to be like the Legion of Boom or like the 2000 Ravens. Well, look, I think a lot of teams want to be like the 2000 Ravens or replicate what the Legion of Boom did in their magical season back in, 2012, 2013, something like that. But look, the New Orleans Saints, what they need is to make sure that they are playing complementary football. I think the most important thing that the Saints actually need, I definitely agree with what people is saying here. I think the Saints' biggest issue is the lack of turnovers. There were some points in the game where if the Saints can actually get their heads on the football and come down with it, then they can actually change the dynamic of the game. You know, I feel like this. If you take the way the Saints were playing defense this year with the 09 team's ability to get turnovers, you'll have an unstoppable force because the Saints were able to get pressure on quarterbacks. They were much better tackling. Later on in the season, the secondary played a lot better. They just had to come up with some of these turnovers, man. And I can remember tweeting, like, when I watched this over the course of maybe like 3 to 4 weeks, they had like 4 weeks where guys were actually, you know, could possibly have a pick six or be, you know what I'm saying, running down the sidelines off an interception and guys just drop it. Now I understand they're cornerbacks. If they could catch, they'll be receivers. But if you put your hand on the ball, man, you got to come down with it. And that's why, like, I feel like, to me, I think the wide receiver group, like maybe a wide receiver coach and a special team coach need to work together at least once or twice a week. Where they can actually help some of these cornerbacks work on their hands and try to see like some of these catching drills, because even though cornerbacks and safeties, that's about techniques, there's still opportunity for you to get the ball. So I don't know how often you actually do this or teams do this, but I think that the secondary, I say special teams, the secondary and the wide, the wide receivers, coaches, they need to get together and collab at least once or twice a week, work on some catching drills. That's the way I look at it. Because I feel like if you do something like that, then it'll help those cornerbacks' hands get stronger, and along with the good technique, and you might end up, having more turnovers. I think that'll be a good idea. TJ, do you see us grabbing a veteran like Kyle Rudolph, or maybe making a move for Kyle Pitts? Yeah, I can see us doing something like that. I look at Kyle Rudolph; he has the same similar skill set as Josh Hill. He was a very durable tight end in Minnesota, and he was a guy that was good in the red zone, just like Josh Hill was. So I can see that happening. But I do feel like they need to go younger. But I wouldn't be mad at the Kyle Rudolph, because I think you still need some veteran leadership in the tight end room, especially since you lost Dan Campbell as your coach, the tight end and assistant coach. I think you need a veteran, somebody that can kind of see the field for some of these youngsters. What do you think about the Hall of Fame this year? I think that I'm getting old because I can remember when those guys actually got into the league, and I watched their careers from start to finish, and it's pretty weird to see, man. It's pretty weird to see guys going to the Hall of Fame that you watched their entire career, including them playing college. Like it's amazing to me to see. But I like this Hall of Fame class because I recognize it, and I think all these guys deserve it. I mean, Peyton Manning, that goes without saying. Megatron, best wide receiver of my generation, my opinion. Charles Woodson, great. I mean, man, Drew Pearson, legendary guy, for the Dallas Cowboys, the original number 88. He deserves it. I mean, all these guys to me, they deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. It's hard to like debate any of the guys that walked into the Hall of Fame this year. From John Lynch, everybody liked John Lynch. And if you're a Saint fan, you definitely know who John Lynch is. The guy that can bring the wood, lay you on your back, so definitely deserve it, man. I like this Hall of Fame class, because I recognize it. TJ, what do you think about the new league? My team is Zappers and the FCF. What team do you root for? Honestly, Ramsey, I don't know exactly what that is, my friend. I'm not sure what that is. I apologize, man. I'm gonna learn a little bit more about it, and I'll get back to you on that. Jay says, "What's up, TJ? What's going on, Jay?" Tyra says, "TJ, do you really think if Brady had not gone to Tampa, would they have won?" Hell no. I don't think so. Whatever team he would have gone to, they probably would have won too. Yeah, because look, you calling the shots like a pool shark, in the words of T.I. on Rubber Band Man. Like you calling the shots, and justifiably so. Like Tom Brady deserves to call the shots. He deserves his moment in the sun to structure a team the way that he wants it to be structured. All right, but I just think that Tampa, like, credit to them, man. Shouts out to the Glazer family. Shouts out to the GM Matt Light. They did the things they needed to do and make themselves a championship team. I mean, they spared no expense. They was willing to take chances. They were willing to change on the fly, and they got the result that they were looking for. With 31 other teams, which they could have done. So I'm not gonna knock them for that, but the only problem I just have about them thinking that they just gonna be running and wrecking shop, like, next. Who that? I can understand why they terminated them, but Jared Cook and Josh Hill. Yeah, I can understand too. I can understand why they terminated the deal. I know why. These guys getting up there in age, and you got yourself a stud at tight end. So no way we draft, and no way we draft in defense if we still don't have a quarterback. Good point. But if you smart, you would. If you smart, you would. So we now see what position Taysom is playing. We talking about tight end. Yeah, I mean, look, it might have to. Might have to. TJ's Mike. Thank you very much for the $2. Says I'm lower than some buried earth today. I don't know why, man. I don't know why my mic is low. Some people saying it sound better. But thank you very much, TJ's Mike, for the $2. I had to bring it closer. Y'all gonna make me pull up my phone to see what I sound like. Let me see. Let me see. I want to see what I sound like. So y'all give me a minute. I want to see if I sound low. Oh, I sound good. I sound good, TJ and Mike. I sound pretty good. I mean, you got an echo up in here because the ceilings are high. I'm gonna work on it. TJ late to the party. Who that, my man? Hey, what's going on? Better late than never, my friend. But let me go ahead and tell y'all a story, man, for about Alvin Kamara, man. So so I don't know, man. So I decided to get on Twitter last night, and I see a post, a tweet by Sean Payton, and Sean Payton like put a GIF up. It was about maybe people talking about Sean Payton watching Alvin Kamara in Montana, snowboarding, and he put the GIF up like he was nervous, and so I seen above it. And I see Alvin Kamara, and I'm like, you can't see this tweet. So I clicked on his name, and I'm like, he's like, you've been blocked. I'm like, huh? Like, how the hell did I get, like, what did I do to Alvin Kamara? So it turns out that Alvin Kamara blocked every single person, or close to every single person, that I guess saw videos of him in Montana snowboarding and mentioned him in the same name or the same tweet as the New Orleans Saints. Like, you saying anything about him and the Saints, he blocked you. So I guess because I said, I think I put a GIF up, right? There's this funny GIF of Jordan Peele, the comedian, the one, the director that made the movie Get Out. But there's a GIF of him like sweating profusely or whatever. And I put, like, just jokingly, I put, this is the way that the Saints organization and Sean Payton is looking at Alvin Kamara snowboarding. And you know what I'm saying? Like, they're probably nervous. I mean, of course you'll be nervous, right? I mean, your best player, is doing something that's, extremely dangerous, right? He can hurt himself. He can do something, He could do something that can cause him to no longer play sports anymore in general. So of course you're going to be nervous. And as a Saints fan, like, you like rooting for the guy. You don't want to see nothing happen to him. So, of course, in the back of your mind, you're like, man, like, you kind of cringe a little bit. He going around the corner and stuff like that on a snowboard. He talking about he just starting out. Of course, you're going to make you nervous, right? So, I say that to say this, man. I feel like it was extremely petty for him to block people because of that. Because first off, you're a social figure, dude, and you're known for playing football. Like, you're the running back for the New Orleans Saints. Like, if you go out here and you do an article for GQ, you're a guy who played for the New Orleans Saints who is doing an article for GQ. When you put videos of yourself out there, you put them out there to be critiqued. Now, there is a level of respect that you're supposed to have. I ain't saying you're supposed to, curse the guy out or anything like that. But at the same time, like, nobody would know you in Montana if you had put videos up about Montana. Nobody would have anything to say about you snowboarding if you didn't put videos of yourself snowboarding up there. So, am I upset that he blocked me? No, not really. Like, I'm not upset about that at all, because I learned a long time ago, about, famous people that, they weird. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're weird. Like, any celebrity that I met, I'm just being 100. Maybe like a handful. But anyone that I actually met in person, like anywhere or around the way, they always just leave a bad taste in my mouth. I often tell this story about, everybody know I'm a wrestling fan here. My favorite wrestler, like, growing up as a kid, along with Eddie Guerrero, One of them was Rob Van Dam. So I remember I went to New York. I was about 17 at the time, right? And I was going to the JFK airport. I was in the airport, and all of a sudden, I started seeing all these different wrestlers walking through the airport. And I'm like, oh my goodness, man. I seen like Bubba Ray Dudley. I seen Shelton Benjamin, Charlie Haas. This was like during the time when, like when Brock Lesnar and stuff like that was, young Brock Lesnar was wrestling. And I went to the food court, and lo and behold, Rob Van Dam was sitting in the food court. And I'm like all excited and stuff like, oh my God, Rob Van Dam. You know what I'm saying? So I'm at, like I get up enough strength to go, I don't want to say strength, of confidence to go over and talk to Rob Van Dam. And I'm like, RVD, can you sign it for me? And he didn't even he didn't look up at me or nothing. He was like, I'm trying to eat, man. So I'm like, okay, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I just walked away. So at the end, I will give him credit. After he was finished eating, he called me back over, and I had my pen and, and my paper in the hand from the sign, and he gave me an already autographed card. And on the front of the card was his comic book shop in San Francisco. And I was just like, man, you know what I'm saying? Like, that wasn't the best experience in the world, you know what I'm saying? But I just learned, man, not to fan worship after that. I look at people like they just do a job. All right. So I'm saying that to say, like, I follow Alvin Kamara because he plays for my favorite team. I'm very comfortable with never interviewing Alvin Kamara. Never seeing Alvin Kamara. I'm cool with that. I am. So am I upset he blocked me? Not really. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't fan worship. If Alvin Kamara moves on and goes to another team, I won't cover Alvin Kamara anymore. So that's the way I look at it. So. But yeah, that's the story, man. I'm not the only person that he blocked. You know what I'm saying? But y'all can follow me at State of Saints on Twitter, by the way. At State of Saints. Saints 2021 schedule. Packers, Jets, Eagles, New England, Washington, Seattle, Atlanta, Carolina, Tampa at home, Atlanta, Carolina, Tampa, Dallas, Giants, Buffalo, Miami, Green Bay. A reported 17 game to be added. Titans being the potential opponent for the 17th game. I think we can win 10 to 11 of those games with Winston and get to the playoffs. Well, it also helps, Tyra, that you actually have an additional, spot. Buy my comics, you punk. Rob Van Dam, RVD. Yeah, that's exactly what that basically said. I say, man, celebrities just leaving, you know what I'm saying, a bad taste in my mouth. That's why, like I said, when I met him, that was the first and the last time I was ever starstruck by anybody. Now it's like, when I have like different former Saints players that come on the show to get interviewed, it's not so much about, me being starstruck. It's like, I can't believe I'm actually interviewing this person. You know what I'm saying? Like, the first couple of times, now it's like, I'm fine, but just falling all over somebody, like, I can't believe it's you. Like, okay, nah, I'm good on that. I'll be ripping them. Thank you very much for the $2. Says, is there room in the cap for a fart coach? I'm not sure, man. I'm not sure. Tyrese says, well, we need to draft a cornerback. We can't have a 32-year-old Jackrabbit there, even though he had a good year. He gonna fall off. That's what happened to Richard Sherman, Patrick Peterson. Yeah, but I mean, you can't say that, man, because for every player like that, I mean, you had a key to lead. You know what I'm saying? Key to lead played pretty good till he retired. I mean, when he left and retired, people still were trying to, go after him. Where did the extra game come from? Yeah, I guess like the 17 game. Yeah, they putting another game on there. I think they talked about that last year. So, hey TJ, who you gonna interview next? I'm not sure. I don't have nobody lined up. I don't know, man. I might take a minute. I might take a minute and wait till the regular season starts and then start interviewing some folks. Maybe I'll get somebody on here talking about the draft. But I don't know, man. Like, some people, and look, I don't want, like, the one thing that makes me proud about this show, I'm gonna tell y'all. right? I started interviewing people. I know exactly when I started interviewing people. Like we started getting guests on the State of the Saints podcast in August. And how I know that because the first guest, that I ever had on my show was Mario Edwards, when he was playing for the Saints. And it was like during the time when I was just about to get married. But before that, man, I mean, look, the show was already taken off as it was. So, I bring guests on the show because I want to give you all the best experience possible. I reach out to these guys. Sometimes, they'll answer, they'll say they'll do it. Sometimes I don't hear back. But, I don't need guests, like that. I mean, I don't need guests on the show. I mean, I like the show. I like to talk to people. I like to interview people, but I don't think that is just totally necessary like that. But anyway, I think I'm probably gonna start doing it at the probably towards the beginning of the season. That's when I do it. Because I mean, thing about it is a lot of this stuff is just rumors. Like unless you're talking about the NFL draft, all this stuff is just according to my sources, and a lot of the people that focus on the Saints have transitioned to the Pelicans. John DeShazer, JD, who's come on the show a couple of times. I mean, he's focused on the Pelicans. Ryan Walker, focused on the Pelicans. So a lot of these people have moved on. Now they talking about Zion and Brandon Ingram and crew. TJ, I met Nick Fairley and Janoris Jenkins. They gave me great takes and said they like New Orleans overall. Yeah, I mean, look, you find some good ones, but like I said, I don't know. I go into, like, if I meet somebody, I just go up in there with very neutral expectations. And what they do, basically doesn't do me no never mind. I said, I don't know. Like I said, that whole experience when I met RVD kind of changed me about what I think about celebrities. I'm a huge Kamara fan. I own his jersey. However, when I watch his interviews, he don't seem like he enjoys talking to people much. Yeah, but I just think that comes over time, because at the beginning, like when he first got with the Saints, like he was very personable. And I get, saying, like, I don't want to say he not personable, because he talks to the media. He talks to the media like he just at the house chilling, and chopping it up. Now, I will give him that. But, when you start to generate a little bit of success and, sometimes, like it can change you a tad bit. Not much, but it can change the way that you look at people. And sometimes, people do that. Like sometimes people can do that to you, man. Like you constantly being criticized. You putting forth your best effort and people still got negative things to say. I mean, I feel like that sometimes during this show. So I only can imagine like how you feel millions of people, critiquing what you do. I can only imagine. So it does change you in a way. It does make you like get to a point where you like, man, just forget it, whatever, But I don't know. Like I said, man, he can enjoy himself and all that kind of stuff there. But at the end of the day, like you're doing an extremely dangerous, sport, in the off season, like snowboarding. Like, of course, Saints fans and coaches and people gonna be like, man, what you doing? Man, you're a running back and you're very important to a team. I keep hoping you'll ask me about my farts, but you never do. Well, that's because I want you to come back on the show, John DeShays. I don't want you to think I'm nuts. I predict that Jameis will have 5,000 yards, 50 touchdowns, a Super Bowl MVP, a league MVP. He will be the best possible quarterback in the league for years to come. Well, that's a lot of high expectations right there. Look, I just need him to win some football games if he come back to the Saints. I don't need him to do all that. If he can do all that, great. But just win the Super Bowl and, don't screw up. I also met Raphael Bush, Kenny Vaccaro, and Patrick Robinson. Okay, Donald, you met quite a few people. You must have been at a Saints function or something. TJ, people hate on the Saints, but they love watching them play. When Saints played big games, Kansas City, everyone was watching. Yeah, because people like Drew Brees and you know what I'm saying they like Sean Payton. Yeah, I mean, Drew is a legendary quarterback. Sean Payton is getting into that legendary coach status. So, yeah, I would agree. You know, I mean, it's pretty obvious people care about the Saints. We have people that's not even Saints fans that watch this show. uh, TJ celebrities like keeping themselves quiet. It's just how they are. I disagree with that. I just man, look, why we pretending here? If you put stuff on social media, you put it out there for it to be critiqued. All right. Here's the thing. If you're on Facebook, I understand, right? Because you control Facebook. You control that. Like you control who your friends are. Yo, like so you basically create this community within people that you know, right? So if you're friends with that person, it's because you allow them to be friends. Most people, you know what I'm saying, if they come on your page, it's because in some way you allowed them, rather it be through a friend request, you know what I'm saying, or you accepted a friendship, vice versa. But when you're on Twitter, Instagram, like you open yourself up for that. You do. You open yourself up for that. You're a public figure. You know what I'm saying? And your tweets or your posts on Instagram, they're going to be critiqued. And you should be prepared for that. Now, like I said, if a person is disrespecting you or you feel like they, you know what I'm saying, they ain't got your best interest at heart, fine. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and block them. But at the same time, like if you're doing something and you put videos out, what do you think people gonna do? You think people just gonna watch it and not say nothing at all? Yeah, I mean, come on, man. Like I said, why are we pretending? This guy's a running back, a really good running back. His, you know what I'm saying? His job, you know what I'm saying, requires him to be at full strength. Most, you know what I'm saying, most cases. And you're doing an extremely dangerous sport in the off season. Like people have died snowboarding. You know what I'm saying? People have been paralyzed. I mean, I don't know if some of y'all know who Sonny Bono is. Some of you probably know Sonny and Cher. That mean he, you know, Sonny Bono died, you know what I'm saying, in a ski accident. Now I'm not making it like it's so extreme or nothing like that, but I'm just saying that's what people think. You're snowboarding. You're not a snowboarder. You're not Sean White. You know what I'm saying? Like you're a running back. You know, and you're doing something extremely dangerous. You know what I'm saying? Outside your elements or outside the elements that people know you are, you know, for doing. So of course they're gonna be like, man, I'm nervous for him. Because you know what I'm saying, people love you. You know what I'm saying? People respect what you do. And if you can't understand that, then I don't know what to tell you. I met Chuck D when he was speaking at Iowa State a couple years ago. Yeah, man. Look, I guess it depends on the forum, I guess, right? If you had a contract signing, but I just feel like this, man. If you're a if you're a public figure, man, that just comes with the territory. That just like people are going to come up to you and want to meet you because they're a fan of your work. Yeah, and I understand. Like, I don't feel like you should go to no celebrity like when they're using the bathroom or you see them out with their family or something like that. Like, leave them alone. But if you just so happen to bump into them, like you see them, like, oh snap! Like, can I get a picture? I don't feel like you should just miss a person or I don't know, man. Like, I ain't on that level, and I don't think like I don't care how God blesses me. I don't think I will ever do that to nobody because you really don't know. Like you don't know that type that can leave a lasting impression on a person. Like you can change a person's life by meeting them. Like you don't even know it. Like oh man, I took this picture. Like people take pictures and they'll go, you know what I'm saying? They'll take them years ago. They'll go into an attic and they'll be showing their grandkids or their kids, like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I took this picture with such and such. You know, this was great. I was like 13. They still be showing them pictures because it's a lasting memory. So I just feel like, man, like that memory that I mean, you hold that in your hands. And I don't feel like you should take that for granted. Let's see. Didn't go after a wide receiver in the second round. Give Jameis more weapons or whoever the quarterback for the Saints. Yeah, I think you can go with a wide receiver, man. But I don't know, man. I think the Saints are good. You know, I think they're good at wide receiver. May want to get yourself somebody that can take the top off the defense. Somebody that probably no disrespect to Deontay Harris. I think he does an outstanding job, but man, when you're like 175, 180 pounds, you're a small guy playing in a big man's game. You're susceptible to being hurt. So I think the Saints may need to get somebody that can take the top off the defense. That's you know got a little size on them. That's what I feel. Snowboarding is big up here in Pennsylvania. I know of multiple people who either died or who were seriously injured while doing it. That's what I'm saying, Count. That's all I was getting at. I was like, man, I know the Saints organization sweating because they are. Like, you just paid a dude $55 million to be a key component to your team, and you seeing them snowboard, like, and you know how dangerous that is. Of course, they're gonna be nervous. Come on, man. It's like your kid. You know what I'm saying? Let's just say, for example, you got a Phantom, a Bentley coupe. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you have a young 16-year-old son or daughter, and they just got their driver's license, and they driving a Bentley coupe. Like, of course you're gonna be nervous. Like, dog, you know what I'm saying? My car. Of course you're gonna feel that way. You're gonna feel that way. So it's ridiculous. Kamara is the best all-around back in the league, so of course the Saints and the league is going to be nervous about him snowboarding. Exactly. I gotta admit, TJ, I'm sickened that we picked trash report. Here we go. Over Lamar Jackson, we would have definitely won a Super Bowl right now. Why in the world did we think this guy was going to be good? It's tragic. Well, I can see why they see, because he has great upside. He has good size. He has good speed. I don't know what the heck happened this year, minus the last couple of years, but he was good on the edge. And work on your technique. You got yourself some sacks, but it just hasn't panned out. Just hasn't panned out. TJ also met and talked to Joe Horn. He showed me how to do his golf course celebration move. Got a dog, Donald. Donald met everybody. Let me see. Who do you think will be our starting tight end replacing Cook? Oh, that's Adam Troutman. That's Adam Troutman, Ramsey, without a doubt. Without a doubt. Facts, TJ. If it's not TJ and Big Q and the best State of the Saints podcast must respect TJ. Yeah, man. I mean, look, shouts out to Big Q. Big Q does an outstanding job. Look, I ain't got nothing against no Saints podcasters, but I'm gonna brag on myself. I'm pretty damn good at what I do. Right? I'm just being honest. I'm pretty damn good at what I do because I'm passionate behind it. And like I said, this is an organic show. Like, this is an organic show. Like, I do this show because I'm passionate about the team and I love doing what I'm doing. So, like I said, I just and a lot of what we do here is interactive. And that's just been my dream because I said, man, most radio stations don't give fans teams, or they don't give people opportunities to talk. It's always about the host. It's always about them shining, to sound more correct and sound like they're making a better point than the person on the phone. And I get it, right? You don't want to look bad because credibility is on the line, but bro, like, the most important person is the person that's viewing, listening to your show, and they should be treated as such. I met TJ Jones on the line several times. Good dude. I appreciate that, man. Damn, Donald met everybody. That's what I'm saying. Shoot, how he got up in there? Can I meet him too? If Watson go to the Jets, do you think the Saints should target a Miami Tua? No, I don't. No, I don't. Should we get a veteran tight end in free agency or draft one to go with Troutman? I think they need to get a veteran. And if they draft one, that would be cool too. But you need a veteran presence in that locker room. Lamar Jackson, not super impressive in the arm department, in my opinion, but he's likable for the most part. Yeah, I mean, and look, I mean, he hasn't played stellar in the playoffs either now. I mean, he's played good in the regular season, but in the playoffs, man, teams buckle down. Your boy be struggling. That's passionate. TJ shows your podcast. Continue what you do, man. Thank you for giving me a subject spot for video games and making everyone feel welcome on your podcast. Well, I appreciate that, Ramsey, and always open to your video game suggestions, my friend. He says, bruh, I met Ric Flair when I was 10 at Disney World. He gave me a woo and everything. Seeing him 2 years ago at a convention, and he was like a pissed off grandpa. Well, I mean, Ric Flair went through a lot in his life, and if you met him 2 years ago, it probably was during the time where he was, fresh out of the hospital, man. Ric Flair almost died. So, you know, not surprising to me at all. I met Joe Horn, Michael Lewis, Tyrone Hughes, Rudy Gay, and several others at a Black and Gold event in Gulfport in 2016. Yeah, man, that's pretty dope. That's pretty dope, man. I mean, I'm trying to see have have I ever met a Saints player in person? I met Aaron Brooks before. Trying to see. I'm trying to see. I met Michael Lewis. He was at a football camp, but probably the only player I never really met any Saints players like that. If I did, I don't. Oh yeah, let me see. Norman Hand. Yep, I met Norman Hand. Norman Hand when I was a senior in high school. He came into foot action. I was working at the Gentilly Wood Mall, and he came up in there and bought 5 T-shirts for $20. You know what I'm saying? So I actually made that sale. That was pretty dope. I met Manny Fresh too. Sold some T-shirts to Manny Fresh too. So, but other football players I met Lionel Washington. I met Anelius Williams. Yeah, I mean, I probably met a few more in my lifetime, but I'm still at work, but have my pod in my ear listening. I appreciate that, Damien. Don't get fired now. TJ should have been on ESPN. I appreciate that, but I'm happy. I'm happy what I'm doing here. I'm happy. Like I want to I love ESPN. Shouts out to him, but I want to be my own ESPN, man. Like I said, I want to have my own network. I want to have my own radio station where I just talk about sports, where I talk about mostly the Saints. That's what I want to do. I mean, it's cool. You know what I'm saying? Of course, you know what I'm saying. Yes, I mean ESPN, Disney. Good money and all that kind of stuff. But like, why can't you do your own thing? Like, why can't you do your own thing? That's the way I look at it. I would like to, I would like to start my own thing where I'm passionate, I'm saying, where I feel good about going to work. I just feel like, and I'm not making excuses. I'm not, what I'm saying? Like, because I'm pretty sure if I wanted to, like, really pursue working at ESPN, like even one of their like local stations, I'm pretty sure I can. Like, I'm a broadcaster, I'm on a radio every day. So it's not like I can't put an application in and apply and probably get a job. But I just feel like I don't want to ever be in a position ever again in my life where I just hate waking up in the morning doing what I do. Like I've worked so hard. Like I'm telling y'all, I worked so hard to do what I'm doing. I ain't just talking about this podcast. I'm talking about working in radio in general. Like some of y'all probably know this story. Some of you probably don't. But man, I started off like doing podcasts like a conference call style, like on this website called Blog Talk Radio. And I was like sitting in my closet where all my clothes was so I can drown out the noise. I went from that to, finally purchasing a mic from Guitar Center, still doing radio in my closet, right? Listening to like my family members and people that's close to me talking about, man, when you making money, how much money you making for doing this? And I'm all excited about it. And I have to like block all that stuff out of my mind. I work my ass off to do what I'm doing right now. So that's the way I feel, why can't you start your own thing? Like working at ESPN, to me, I feel like I would lose myself because it seemed like everybody wants to be like Stephen A. Smith. Everybody wants to yell to the top of their lungs. Everybody wants to like, do all these little funny things. Like when a person talking, they want to sip water and look all off into outer space and stuff like that. Like, how many of those guys you gonna have? I don't want to be one of those guys. I want to get up, talk about what I want to talk about, be passionate about it, let people on the other end feel that passion, and take my behind home. And you know what I'm saying, make compensation for it. Like, like that's what I want. I think that's what everybody wants, right? You want to do what you love to do. You want to make some good money doing it. Then you want to go home, kiss your wife or your husband and your kids, and you want to be content with that. And I'm good with that. I'm good never working for ESPN. I rather be my own ESPN. Like the vision, bro. I appreciate that. TJ, you just a funny person. You should be on ESPN, bro, or Fox Channel. Like I said, Jake, I just feel like you lose a part of yourself. You lose a part of yourself being on that because you end up being what they want you to be. And I mean, if I can't be authentic, like I'm telling y'all, I do not do podcasts. I don't like I don't touch this microphone. I don't get behind this camera if I'm not passionate. If I'm not feeling doing the State of the Saints podcast, I do not do it. I don't care what's going on. If you noticed last week, everybody was talking about Russell Wilson. Everybody was talking about Drew Brees. I did not come behind this mic because I wasn't feeling it at the time. And I knew that I wasn't going to give y'all my best. If I can't do that, then I don't want to do it. I don't care how much they give me. I don't care who's endorsing me, even though I appreciate Manscaped. But I'm not going to do a disservice to the people that made Manscaped want to do business with me in the first place. I am not going to sell you all short by giving you all a half-ass show or giving you a half-ass version of me. Not happening. I'd rather, you know what I'm saying? I'd just rather keep it 100 because, I live my life like Thanos, on Endgame when he said, I am inevitable. You know what I'm saying? That's how you got to feel about yourself. I'm inevitable. There's nobody that's going to be able to stop me from reaching my goal. If I'm determined, if you're determined, nobody can stop you and nobody can stop me. You're undeniable. And that's the way I feel. I feel like I'm unfreaking deniable. Big up, brothers. I also do podcasts and feel the same way. Stay true to you. Yeah, I mean, that's what it's about. Do what you love to do, man. Like, for real. It's going to be some dark days. It's going to be some dark days. It's going to, like, I look at life like this, right? When you first started growing, if you ever grew dreads or something like that, back in the day, I grew dreadlocks, right? And when you have dreadlocks, for some of my people that don't know, you go to the beautician or your home girl or your homeboy, whoever do hair, and they twist it, right? And you have these ugly little BBs in your head, right? They ugly, you know what I'm saying? And everybody probably laughing at you, man, what you got in your head? Over time, your hair starts to grow and grow more and grow more and grow more. And eventually you have yourself some long locks. And you know what I'm saying? You look back at them pictures like, man, you know what I'm saying? I was looking rough. You're going to have an ugly stage. It's going to get ugly. It might be sometimes where you really have to sacrifice. You wonder to yourself, like, why the hell am I doing what I'm doing? But eventually, if you keep working at it, keep plugging at it, respecting the process, loving it with everything you have and putting everything you have into it, it's going to grow into something beautiful. For all my podcasters out there, for all my people out here that are chasing dreams, please believe it. Please believe it. It gets ugly before it gets beautiful. You know what I'm saying? That's not just a Chris Brown lyric in a song. That's a fact. It gets ugly sometimes before it gets beautiful. Sometimes you got to fall down sometimes in order for you to get up. I done fell flat on my ass plenty of times, like different podcast ideas and wasting money and different ventures. But I don't regret betting on myself. TJ, you be Steven a snitch. Sky's the limit, dude. Work hard, play hard. Exactly. Rudy says, who do you think would pair well with Troutman to make them a dual threat? I think Kyle Rudolph would. I think Kyle Rudolph would be I think he would be a good fit for them. Kyle Rudolph be a good red zone threat and have Adam Troutman as your pass catcher tight end. TJ, keep it real. Too much to be on national sports. I appreciate him here more. Nah, I'm good on them national sports, man. I'm good. If they got you blocking folk for, you know what I'm saying, having them eating crow, then I don't want to be on it. You know, you are the truth because you keep it 100. I appreciate that, man. You right, and that's facts. Big Smoke says I disagree. Out of all the people we're losing and we have negative cap space, I don't think we should draft another wide receiver. Well, I mean, it depends on what direction they go in, Idris. I be I be bringing back memories. TJ Old Dreads, thank you very much. I met Ricky Williams reading meters. I also played basketball with Pat Swilling. Oh man, that should have been pretty cool. Play these horror games at any point, TJ. Outlast that game is very graphic, but I don't know if it's for you. But it's all good. Horror games. Okay, I have to check that out. I'll check them out. That's right, TJ. Be yourself. People always keep it 100 people. Yeah, because this is the thing. If you don't keep it 100, then you're going to end up not liking what you will see in the mirror. And I've been there. I did not like what I see in the mirror. What I saw in the mirror, excuse me. I didn't, because I wasn't being true. And then you have to wake up in the morning and be that character every day. Like, nah, I'm good. TJ, real talk, bro. You one of the reasons I even decided to start working for myself. So we need you here or have your own. You are definitely an inspiration. Keith, I appreciate that. I thank you for that. I really do. You know, like I said, man, people gonna always tell you that you crazy. I'm serious, man. People will always tell you that you crazy. Like they would say, like, oh man, you know what I'm saying? Why are you doing this? Like, why are you wasting your time? Like, why, like, don't listen to them folk, man. Like don't listen to them. Like, believe in the process, trust the process. I know I do. I definitely trust the process. And I know eventually, like, everything is going to work out because it is right now. And I'm happy doing what I'm doing. But, speaking of happy I'm doing what I'm doing, I'm happy about Manscaped, official sponsor of the State of the Saints podcast. The Eni, thank you very much for the $4.99. Big support, my brother. I appreciate that. But the show is brought to you by Manscaped. Now, Manscaped is wanting all of you fellas out there to get lucky during St. Patrick's Day. All right. St. Patrick's Day is just around the corner. And if you're going to get lucky, Manscaped is the global leader for below the waist grooming. And they are the official sponsor of the State of the Saints podcast. And to ensure that you have the best tool for your family jewels, visit manscaped.com and use the promo code State of Saints. Okay, use the promo code State of Saints, and you will save 20% off of your purchase. And that's also free international shipping that is available for all my people that's listening across the pond. I know we've got some people listening in the UK, got people listening in Italy. So check out manscaped.com. Use the promo code State of Saints. Man, great products. One product that I will recommend is the Lawnmower 3.0. It's a water-resistant clippers for grooming needs. Man, you can use it while you're in the shower. You have to worry about getting electrocuted, So I mean, it's really good, man. I'm pretty sure that any item that you have for Manscaped, you're really going to enjoy it. But the Lawnmower 3.0, I would personally recommend. All right, but check out manscaped.com. Use the promo code State of Saints. That's all one word, okay? State of Saints. I know some people be spacing it out. That's State of Saints, all one word. You will save 20%, no matter if the item is $100 or $8. All right, check it out. Support the State of Saints podcast. Really do appreciate that. And also, man, check out my brother's podcast called Pick Six Blog World. That's available on all streaming outlets. Pick Six Blog World podcast. That's available. My big brother EJ Jones. Some of y'all probably seen him on the show before. Come through, talk sports. He's talking sports. He's talking about basketball. He's talking about NFL. So check him out. Pick Six Blog World. Really do appreciate it. But thank you all so much for checking out the State of the Saints podcast. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, youtube.com. Search the State of the Saints podcast. Look, I am on a mission right now. I'm on a mission, and I'm challenging each and every one of you, okay? If you like this podcast, all right, and you watch it all the time, and you never subscribed, shame on you, okay? All I'm asking you to do, if you like this podcast today, if you checked it out, you're like, man, this is bomb, please subscribe to the channel, okay? YouTube.com, search The State of the Saints Podcast. We're also available on Facebook.com, search The State of the Saints Podcast. Previous episodes available on iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Anchor FM. Thank you all so much. Enjoy the rest of your day. And like always, all I got to say is,